You're watching the Norfolk Southern Sherwood Subdivision. I'm Harold. Thanks for watching. Today we will begin the second of our two-part video on rehabbing my structure. If you wish to see how this comes out, please stay tuned till the end. You may also have an interest in some of our layout construction, how-to, or operations videos that you can find on our channel. For now, let's continue with rehabilitating this structure. In part one, you saw the structure as it originally looked. It was terrible. It gets worse. Look at this side. That's terrible. So we painted it, and we painted the windows, and we painted the trim around the windows, and we generally cleaned it up. And this is what it looks like now. All the windows have been reinserted. The two sections of roof have been added. Oh, what's this big opening in the back? And the fact is, I lost one of the windows somewhere. It's somewhere in my workshop, and I will find it and put it back. But for now, because of where the structure is going to sit, it won't really matter. I think you'll agree that structure is much improved, but what's missing is the brick mortar. Our next step will be to let this dry overnight. We've just now installed the roofs. We'll give it a wash. We'll take it outside and give it a clear coat of Testor's Dull Coat, and we will apply the brick mortar. So stay tuned for those activities. The structure has been double coated with Testor's Dull Coat. We've done that to protect the existing paint. So we're going to put the fake mortar over top of the paint, hoping that it flows into the cracks, and then we will wipe off the surface to get the mortar off the tops of the bricks. We have a solution, 1 part paint. It is flat gull gray by Model Master to 1 part water with a little dishwashing detergent, and that's there to encourage flow. And the process goes like this. What you're trying to do is you're trying to get it to flow into the cracks between the simulated bricks. Need a little more paint. Now, structure has a mostly white appearance. What we want to happen is we want the brick to come through. So while this is still wet, we will blot off the surface. And all I'm doing is using a clean cloth there. And where we have areas on the side, we may need to get our Q-tip in there. And you can see, as we predicted, you're not going to get a uniform appearance. And you do not want a uniform appearance. So that is one way to do it. Another option that you've seen in other videos that we have done is to get to this point, let it dry a little bit, and then come in with some Windex and take the top layer off. And we'll try to do that coming up. We have returned, and what you're seeing is the result of our activities to clean up the surface. My take on this is it's still too white, and despite a couple of different efforts to remove the white from the surface of the bricks, they have not succeeded. So we're going to call this part a failure, in that we were unable to put the mortar in a way that was satisfactory to us, and I quite frankly think the building looks better without it. What we're going to do is we will paint over this part. The building will have its original painted appearance, and because it's a background building in the far corner of our layout, that's probably satisfactory. We will continue to put the glazing and the lighting in, as we said before, but at this point we're going to paint over what we've done and decide that we can't do anything more and we have to move on. We'll show you the glazing and the lighting in the next segment, but right now I'm going to get back to repainting this. Now we're on to the part where we're going to do glazing of the structure. You're looking at the inside of the structure. This is a DPM kit, which I built a while ago. It came with plastic sheet for glazing. I have no idea where they were, so I've had to make my own. I use 015 styrene clear sheets. And you see the structure of the windows is we have 8 pairs that look like this. That's a door. Also windows in the back. And you could put individual pieces of glazing on each one. I've chosen this method. It's a little easier to use, I should say. One piece that goes over both windows. If you're going to use existing styrene sheet that you already have, get it out and look at it. Make sure it has no scratches on it. And then take it down to your sink and give it a good wash with dishwashing detergent and dry it off. And after that, you handle it only with gloves, so you get no fingerprints on it at all. How are we going to attach this glazing? We're going to use this item. Formula 560 canopy glue. In the old days we would use styrene cement, but that sometimes got onto the glazing itself and made it look really bad. So this is the preferred item right now. And we'll simply, well, first of all, we'll shake it up really well. Dispense out a small dab. You don't need much of this stuff. The reason we like this is it stays tacky and it dries clear. So what we're going to do is we have a micro brush. We're going to take a little of our canopy glue and put it in little dabs in strategic locations. You don't want to put too much in here. Around the area where the glazing is going. And then we will pick up the glazing. And I think the best way to do this is with tweezers. And we will drop it into place. Give it a little adjustment. Press it down a little and that'll stay there. even if you get, which might happen here and maybe here, a little bit on the window itself, this dries clear, so it'll be very hard to see. And we'll continue doing this with all the windows, the other 7 pairs of windows here. No point in you seeing that. When we come back, we will proceed to perhaps do some lighting or at least some interior light blocking within the structure. Stay tuned. We are now entering the final phase of the work on this structure, where we're going to add a view block and some lighting. This is the position of the structure on our layout. It's sitting in the back corner. A couple of things you'll notice. First of all, the rear part is not visible. So we don't have to do anything there. I'm envisioning this part as office area. This part here, I'm thinking of as the area where items are stored. And we're probably going to call this a plumbing wholesaler. And they'll receive things by the track in the back and maybe by truck in the front. So what that means for us today is we're going to have to put something in so you can't see clear through the building. And in order to give it some light, we're going to put some lighting in it. We are back at the workbench to install our light block and to install our lighting. To create a light block, I've done this. It's just 2 pieces of mounting board that I've slid together. I've already measured it. And as you can see, one thing that's going to do is going to cover up the lighting of the 2nd floor. So we're going to insert our Woodland Scenics stick-on light to light the 2nd floor before we put that in there. Now we take our lighting block, and it's designed so this looks like the floor of the 2nd floor. I'll just slide that in here. The next and final step is to add our 2nd Woodland Scenics stick-on light, which will light this area of the 1st floor. Remember, this area here is in the back, so it can't be seen. So we've peeled the backing off. We'll just place our light right there on the seal. That's all we need to do. And when we come back, I'll plug these into our just plug lighting system and we'll show you how it looks. So there's our structure as it would look during the daytime without the lights on. And I can't get the camera low enough, but what you would see is you cannot see clear through from the front to the back because we put that block in. Now, let's turn the lights on and see what that looks like. And you can see it gives it a more lived-in look. It appears that something may be going on in there. Keeping in mind this will be in the back of our layout, so a lot of extensive work to put an interior in here may not be needed. Turn the lights off as best we can and see what it looks like when it's darker. As you would expect, when it's darker, the lights are more prominent. And I'm doing this on my workbench, which is right next to an exterior wall. It has a big window, so you're not getting the full effect that you would at night. But you've seen this in other videos that we've done. The lighting at night is much more dramatic and draws your eye to the structure. That's everything we're going to do to this structure. Let's look back a little bit. When we began, it looked like this. not something you'd be proud to have on your layout. We did some painting, we did the trim work, we added lighting, we added glazing, and we added a view block. So now it looks like this, and I think that'll be something that we will be happy with when we put it on our layout. That's the end of part 2. Thanks for watching as we rehab this structure. I hope you'll join us for future videos, and we thank you for watching the Norfolk Southern Sherwood subdivision.